Hello, peace and blessings. It is January, so happy new year. I am going to be doing a reading for the collective single mothers this month. It's a little late, but I think also it's right on time. Something moved me to do this reading. I have been kind of cocooning and nurturing myself, processing and really preparing for the year. So I have not been as visible, especially with making videos as of lately. So here I am, very excited. I have about 13 of my decks handy. The rest are packed away, which makes me a little bit sad because I like being able to access all of them. But I tried to pick some of my favorites or just ones that I really wanted to work with to keep out. So it still gives me a little bit of variety in being able to do readings and things like that. So let's just take a deep breath. I don't know about your year, but energies are very intense. And you might find that you are dealing with a lot of change, unexpected change. Let me move this a little bit so it's not so close. But change is happening, shift is happening, and sometimes it does not feel good. Sometimes it is very rude awakenings that propel us forward into a new phase. And one of my shaman friends, they're called initiations. So when these things happen in our lives that seem so traumatic, whether it is, a life-changing situation, just it could be monumental, it could be minute, but these things that hit us in our core, whether it's in a beneficial way or in a way that feels very uncomfortable or negative, it's initiating something within us to elicit a response. And how we choose to respond is what matters most, because we know shit is always going to happen in life. That's period. We can't necessarily control things, but we can control ourselves and how we respond to things. So like I've been dealing with some stuff and I was like, all right, you have to grieve, you have to feel all the feelings, but then it's time to get up. Then it's time to move forward, because we cannot sit here without being changed, without moving forward from it in some way. And so one of the things that I shared on Instagram was my mantra, my personal mantra, which is life is all about positive forward movement. And I started saying that somewhere around 2008, 9, somewhere around there, because then I was going through a different set of challenges and just situations where I felt just stuck. And then I was like, no, life is all about positive forward movement. Focus on the positive and keep moving forward. That is what that's about, because we can get stuck in the darkness and in the pain of life and get to the point where we can't see a way out, because I've been there, I know. And so when I fixate on the positive, it gives me something else to anchor onto, something that can pull me forward, so that I'm not sitting there stuck, not moving. I'm able to move through the sludge, to move through the darkness, and to get to the other side. And often while we were in the middle of the shitstorm, we cannot see how it's shaping us. We cannot see, what's on the other side of that transformation. We have to get there. So one of the things that I'm also learning is to be in the moment of it, and to be aware that this is an initiation for me. This is a life-changing situation. How can I take this energy? How can I take this situation? How can I take this mess and grow from it? How can I take this mess and evolve in a way that is going to support me on a very deep level. So I hope that message inspired you. I do want to share something with you really quickly. It is my spiritual journal that I created for 2021. It is the Single Mom Spiritual Journal. This month for January, I wanted to touch on the theme, which was vulnerability. And inside of the Healing Single Mothers community, we're going to dive into this topic a little bit more. Because oftentimes, like when we think about vulnerability, or actually when we look up the word, it means that you are you're weak, you are susceptible to being hurt. And when we talk about like being vulnerable in a relationship, it don't sound good. Like, why would you, want to open yourself up to an attack or to be hurt or wounded in some way? And I think when we talk about vulnerability, it's more, being safe, expressing the fullness of who you are, being able to show your authentic self. One of the things that I've learned is that, we also have to do that with ourselves. Like, we have to be real with ourselves and what we're feeling, and what we're going through. Because a lot of times we can put on masks and just stuff emotions down, or busy ourselves with home, with work, with our kids, and not be real with ourselves about what we're experiencing and what we're feeling and what's really going on. So I think of it more as like dropping away the masks, dropping away the facade so that the real you is able to shine through. But why that gets to be so scary and why it moves into the idea that you're opening yourself up to be harmed is we fear rejection. We fear that the people we expose ourselves to, that we open up to, that they're not going to receive us, that they're not going to love us, that they're not going to like us. And we got to stop giving a fuck. Who cares? You got to like you. You got to love you. You have to accept you. And if you are around people where you don't feel safe being your true authentic self, then you're not around the right people. Sometimes that can be family, it can be friends, people that we've known our entire lives, and we've grown and we've changed, and those people no longer accept or understand who you are or what you are about. And so you have to hide parts of yourself. And it's like, man, like I really wish I could express this, but I can't because they're not going to get it. So we have to really position ourselves to be in community with like-minded people, because everybody is not for us. Everybody's not going to understand. And we really have to be okay with that and be okay with sharing our true nature, who we are, shining all of our weirdness, all of our magic, all of our glory, all of our beauty, all of our imperfection, being who we are in each and every moment, because that's how we live and that's how we experience life, rather than having to hide these different pieces and parts of yourself in different situations because it might not be okay with the people that you're around. So yeah, that's something that, I've really been thinking about, like, who can I be myself around? And especially in times of when you need support, in times of grief, in times of sadness, in times of change. Like, there were so many times where I would need comfort, or just want to express what I felt because I felt horrible and I wasn't allowed to do so. And to not have a safe space to open up, to grieve, to be angry, to be vulnerable, to be human is dangerous. And especially having dealt with depression and PTSD and, serious mental health stuff. Like, I know how important it is to be able to say, I am not okay. And for someone to be like, that's all right. What's going on? Tell me how you feel. That just does so much. That does so much. And so again, we have to have safe spaces. We have to have community. We have to have people that are there. We need support. We've got to have support and connection and community because it's essential on so many different levels. So I pulled a couple of cards. I hope I can get through. Oh, and so real quick, if you want to get your 2021 Single Mom Spiritual Journal, head over to my website, healingsinglemothers.com/journal. The link is also in the description and or bio. This book I love so much. And, there's space to journal. There are different exercises, healing tools, essential oils, crystals that just help you to embody the energy of each month and really dive deeper and to help you transform, because ultimately I want this journal to help you grow so that you can live abundantly ever after, so that you can really step into your personal freedom, your personal power, and be who you were created to be, to have the love, the life, the success, whatever it is that you desire. Because that's why we were put here. We were put here to live, to thrive, to experience joy and bliss. So yeah. Now let's talk about these cards. So I had a couple of false starts, but what came up here was the moon. And I really like that this card showed up because it's almost like, oftentimes like we think of like when the moon card comes up, it's like illusions, or it's shining a light on the dark areas, on the things that maybe we aren't normally able to see. It can be our fears. But what I like here is she has a candle, and it's almost as if she's greeting the night, that she's greeting these creatures, the dog and the wolf, as though they are old friends. It's like, hey, like, I know you guys are there. I'm not going to ignore this anymore. Let's talk. So this is almost like going into your shadows, going into the depth of your hurt. And maybe you need to work with a therapist or a coach or some type of healer to help you explore those things. But it's just bringing awareness. Like, you're starting to shine a light on your shit. You're starting to shine a light on the ways that you're not showing up for yourself. You're shining a light on the things that you want to change, the things that you're not necessarily happy about. And it's okay. It's not to say that something's wrong with you, that you're broken, that you're damaged, that you cannot change or do better, because we all have shadows. We all have stuff. We all have trauma and different things that we've gone through. But we have to shine a light on those things. We have to acknowledge them and say, wow, like, though that hurt, though that was maybe ugly, though that was not me in my best, that was still part of me. And I don't have to be that person. Like, I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to go there. But that taught me a lot. And that got me through something. And now I can go back and visit it, from a place of love, from a place of understanding, and see things differently. So it's not like, oh, I have to shame myself for whatever, because I used to smoke, or because I used to drink, or whatever the case may be. You don't have to shame yourself. You can just go back and say, wow, like, I see you, and it's okay. And say, like, okay, this is hurting me right now. Like, I feel very hurt. Why is this hurting me? It's like going back and making acquaintance, or becoming friends almost, to like get to know these different parts of you that you hide, so that you can integrate them and not feel like you have to compartmentalize yourself in different ways, because all of our life experiences, good or bad, they have shaped us into who we are now. A lot of the horrible things that I experienced in my life helped me to become the person that I am, which is why I do the healing and coaching work that I do. So it's not like I can like shun it or say, oh my gosh, like let's lock that in the basement and leave it there. Like, no, like these experiences made me who I am, but they don't get to determine who I'm going to be in the future. So then we have the Ace of Swords here too, which kind of just touched on what I just said. This is like a new thought process. This is like a new perspective coming in. Like, okay, yeah, so I'm realizing that I'm holding myself back in this way. But now that I see it, I can do something differently. Like, I don't have to continue to do that. So this is almost like a new perspective, a new focus, a new attitude almost, because you have gone back here and you've picked something up that you needed, something that you maybe needed to remember about yourself, about the things that you've overcome, about who you are, about your purpose and what it is that you want to do. And now you have a different focus. So this might be you too, like reconnecting in with your goals. If you started out this year and maybe something threw you off, something scared you, something made you feel like, you know what, I can't do this. Maybe next year will be my year, but right now it's too hard. You're kind of getting that insight. It's like a little flicker, a flame, a spark is being lit within you saying, no, get out of that mind funk, get out of the clouds, and you're starting to get clear. You're starting to get clarity on why certain things happened, on how to move through different situations, on how to move forward, what you need to be focused on. So it's almost like by going back and shedding a light on certain things, you're walking away with wisdom. You're walking away with clarity, and things that are going to bring you into success with the Six of Wands here. This is all about achievement. This is about overcoming. What I love about this card, normally like there's a crowd of people that are kind of like cheering the figure on, but this is celebrating self right here. This is gratitude. And this is you being able to honor yourself because you know that all things are possible. You know that you're no longer stuck. You're starting to, and I don't know if I mentioned this, but so while we are going through things, it's hard to like see our wins and to celebrate ourselves because we're always looking at the end goal. Like this is the thing, but we're forgetting all the milestones along the way that lead up to that point. And so this is almost like celebrating and like having an attitude of gratitude as you move through life, and knowing that you don't need anybody else to tell you that you're a victor, that you need to be crowned. You can do that for yourself. And remember that you carry this energy within you. And at any time you can tap into that winning spirit. You can tap into that victor energy and know that you can look back and see, okay, like I overcame this in the past. This is what I have to be grateful for. This is where I'm going. And what I like, so she's focused towards, she's looking to the future, but still celebrating in this moment. So it's not that you are taking your eyes off of where it is that you want to be. It's that you're honoring where you are now with glee, with bliss, because you know that it's getting you to where you want to go. You're no longer paralyzed in fear or stuck in your past because you've made peace with that in a sense. You took away the nuggets of wisdom that you needed from those lessons and you're applying it. So you have a different mindset, and it's like you're shifting out of that like woe is me, that lack mindset, and really moving into a space of gratitude. If I got this, everything is working out in my favor. But we also need to be careful about how you're managing things. Make sure that you're not taking on too many things at once, that you're not trying to do it all alone. Like I talked about, we have to have support and community and connection and help. So when you get to those places where you're starting to feel worn out, or you're starting to feel like there's too much on your plate, you have to take something off. Remember that you don't have to do everything. You don't have to do it all. And you definitely don't have to do it all in one day. So prioritize what's important to you right now. And always go back and look at your wins and your successes. So one of the things that I keep is a, really it's more so for my business stuff, but I just keep a journal and just list out things that I did that day. So it's very short, little bullet points, nothing long. Just I did this, I did that, I did that. This happened, this was good, I did that. And so that way I can go back and look and see, like, I am making progress. I'm working towards my goal. And so you can do this for any area of your life. If you just want to do like an accomplishment journal, like, okay, these are the 3 things I accomplished today in my life, or I spent time reading with my kids, or I read a book today, whatever it is, so that you know that you are accomplishing things. So we have to manage our time, manage our energy, manage our emotions, manage ourselves, so that we are able to do the things that need doing in our lives, for our families, for our business or jobs, for our homes, because it is a lot. As single mothers, we already have a lot on our plate. So it's very important that we aren't taking on too much, because what happens is you want to do all the things and you try to do all the things and you don't quite make it, and then you feel like a failure. So then you stop and you go back into that cycle where you're beating yourself up, you feel like you're not getting anything done, and that's not true. It's just we have to be mindful of how much we can take on. So it's very important to prioritize and put systems and strategies in place to support you so that you are not overdoing it. And give yourself the opportunity to say, no, this is it. This is all I'm going to do. Give yourself some limits, give yourself some boundaries, and uphold them, because that's going to support you in the long term, so that you can stay in this energy here instead of getting overwhelmed and feeling like I'm going to just quit. So I think that is the complete message. It was really great to sit and do this, even though it took a little while. I had to calm little Sirius down so he could take a nap and not whine and cry in the background. But I'm super grateful. One of the things that has been so clutch and gave me something to really look forward to was getting this in my hands. This was actually published in December. I just got it in my hands last week. For whatever reason, it took a long time to get to me, but I'm just so proud of myself for creating this journal. I look forward to creating next year's journal and working through this in the community. So I know I mentioned that before. I do have a paid community membership where we get to work together a little bit more. We're going to dive deeper into the journal and really take away some healing and changes. So there will be master classes, additional healing tools like guided meditations, energy clearings, things like that, to support the theme of each month. So for January, I am creating a kind of like a visualization to feel safe being open and allowing yourself to like be seen and be witnessed. And then we'll be talking a little bit more about vulnerability and just how to be more open with yourself and within relationships and things like that. So check it out. Again, you can find this at healingsinglemothers.com/journal. I am so excited and proud of this baby right here. I just can't wait. And I am sending you an abundance of love, of peace, of healing, and blessings, because Lord knows we need them. So thank you so much for watching. Lots of love to you. Here is to living abundantly ever after, and I will see you again soon. Peace.